Good evening and welcome to the all-new streaming podcast, Behind Their Music, where we bring you up close and personal with the hottest recording artists in the independent entertainment industry. And for all your up-to-the-minute entertainment news and information, log on to our website at www.theurbaninfluencer.com, your number one platform for independent artists. And now, without further ado, let's jump to it on Behind Their Music with your host, Tony Bass. And today we have a wonderful pleasure to speak to a gentleman who is native to New England and really tearing up the charts right now. Has a wonderful new album out there. We're going to get into all of it right now, but we're going to first let my man introduce himself to you. This is Noel Gourdin. How you doing, Noel?
Doing good, man. Feeling blessed, highly favored. Just happy to be doing what I'm doing and trying to spread love. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be here with you, man.
Indeed. So we're just going to start right from the beginning, maybe reverse a little bit and chop it up in all in between, because you are out of Brockton, New England, Brockton, Massachusetts, that is. And you've been doing this music for a minute, man. So I just want to know if you could tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you got into recording.
Well, I'd have to say that it really came about with me hanging out with my pops, because he was always listening to the old soul, the oldie but goodies, what he called them, on the black and gold Maxell tapes. So all the records that he had on there, Sam Cooke, Solomon Burke, Brooke Benton, Johnny Taylor, Tyrone Davis, all of that music is what pretty much formed me and got me into wanting to make music. The way that music made me feel as a child, I knew that when it came time for me to start making music, I wanted to put the same smile that this music put on my face. I wanted to do that for other folks with my music, try to, bring up that nostalgic, timeless type of aspect that music gave to me, and the joy, you know what I mean? So I think it's really simplistic for me. I want to make music that touches people and make them smile and make them feel things. And, because music can be a time capsule. It can be like a time machine in a way. So I wanted to just bring joy to other folks, make them think about the other times in their lives, their first love, what have you, that the music that I got from hanging with my pops was what really inspired me to do what I'm doing today, and to try to become more of a student of the game, and just try to learn every day and become a better artist and do what I can to try to leave my mark on this industry.
And I think you're doing it real well. And I just want to emphasize, man, being out of the New England area, there's so many quality artists that have come out of New England, made their mark. We don't really get that kind of notoriety, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I think that we're starting to get that groove. We got some real talent that's doing their thing right now.
Definitely.
And I tell you, man, all those artists that you mentioned, you exude a lot of those spirits, especially on this new album. People need to hear this album, like Celebrate. I really enjoy that. How did that come about?
That's my favorite record on the whole album. With this album, it was something that was some of the grooves and some of the feels on this album was a little bit different from what I normally do. And that's particularly in the music. A lot of the tracks are a little bit different from what I had normally done, but it still has that underlying Noel in there. You know what I mean? Still has that soul and that R&B aspect. But yeah, Celebration, man. I started writing that, as a lot of people can hear, during the campaigning season of this past election. How I say some things a little bit different for some folks than it is for others. But then I always, the aspect of that record is celebrate every little victory we have in life, because that's one thing we're not promised the next minute. You know what I mean? That's right. So I always say any little celebration, any little victory in life needs to be celebrated. So that's what I got. That's where I started the concept of that record. And because everybody's paradise and victories and little points of celebration aren't the same. It's subjective from one person to the next. So I said, not everybody's paradise is a certain thing. Not everybody's paradise is being rich and being on a mountain of money. somebody could be getting a interview for an advancement at work, or you know what I mean? It's little things. So that's what that whole aspect of that record and that concept came from, for a celebration, and it just happens to be my favorite record on the album. That's crazy that you said that.
Yeah, no
just
doubt.
the feel of that record is something, you know what I mean? Because we've come a long way, but we got a long way to go. But like I said, there are things in life to celebrate, and when you get those little moments, we should do so.
Now you have another record on there, man. Matter of fact, this is the first one that I heard off the album, and first the title just threw me off, but you get to hear the record, man. You're like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Might let you hit it.
Rick Ross on there too.
Kevin Ross on there, man. I hadn't worked with him since my second album, Fresh to Definition. And Kevin is just a real easy going cat that I worked with from before. And we had great chemistry in the studio when working on the records that we worked on Fresh to Definition. So it was real good to mix it up with him again. But yeah, the title was a little, misconceived for some folks. And that was funny when we were sending the record out to people. Just from the title, they were like, we can't touch this record, you know what I mean? And we're like, come on, man, just listen to it, you know what I mean? Because it's the title, it's nothing crass or nothing about it in the record, you know what I mean? But the title can throw some folks, and it did. But yeah, we're proud of it, man. I just thought it was just something that didn't take itself too serious. It kind of reminded me of a 90s scene from one of the movies back in the day or whatever. You could see that in The Best Man or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I just thought it kind of vividly painted a picture that didn't take itself too serious, and it was almost like a reversal of roles for me. Yeah. Because it's usually the fella that's trying to, get a young lady to where they want them to be. But I just thought it was a really cool concept. My man Frank C.K. Oliphant came up with the idea originally, and he hit me up because I had worked with him on my first album, Stemming from the River. So it was kind of a nice, 360 come back around and working with folks that I worked with on my first album. And Said Solo was the production on that. They did the production on that record. Shout out to Said Solo, and Boss Brody was on there as well. So it just came together, man, beautifully, and we were happy with it. And the chemistry that me and Kev had on the record was chef's kiss. So I was happy with that record, and we're proud of it, man. And it's getting its go rounds around the country on the radio waves and all of that. So I'm happy about it.
I'm gonna go back a little bit because you did hit it on it, just now. The River, man, that's the classic.
My signature, that's my signature record.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. The River, man, was something special because it was a culmination of a lot of hard work coming up in the industry, a lot of nights sleeping in cars in New York trying to get on and all that. You know what I mean? So that record kind of brings me back to all of those times, sleeping in a cold studio with a space heater and just making records, 50, 60 records at a time to try to let some folks hear what we're all about and what we were trying to do and the sound that we had. So this record here, being that my family is from Mississippi, and coming from the city and always traveling down south in the convoy of family cars down the highway to head down to Mississippi every single summer, it was a special place for me, and of course for the family. So, for us to be up in the Poconos and working on this record with Balewa Muhammad and CK and Arama Brown, which is a female voice on the record. So we just started talking, coming up with concepts and how it was to grow up in the South, and because all of us were either from the South or had family from the South and grew up in the South. So we just started tossing around different things and catchphrases and all of that, and it just formed into this record, which was, the way I had described it, was a modern day Midnight Train to Georgia. That's what it kind of felt like to me. And yeah, man, it just had all the nostalgia, but still had the newness to it, where a lot of it expanded over a lot of lines, where young folks dug it, older folks dug it, even the old grand folks dug it. So, that was what was special to me, that it crossed all kinds of different lines. You know what I mean? It wasn't just the black folk that were listening to this record. It touched a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of messages over the years talking about they use this in listened to this and got married and used it as their wedding record and all of that, I was like, you should have called me to come and sing in that shit, but but it just touched a lot of people, man. And then it's a special record, not only for me but for my family, and apparently for a lot of other folks in the country, in the world. Really, I've gotten international messages. So
I believe
it's that's the reason why we do this as artists, man, is to touch people on a massive scale, and that record did that.
You're on Top Notch Records right now, and I don't know how long you've been with them, and you also have been on the Urban Influencer, and I just want to know what your experience is like now that you crossed the river and now don't have to worry about those cold studio rooms anymore.
Yeah, well, the independent labels, you have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And in a sense, I was always I was an athlete, and I always played team sports, the ultimate team sport, football and all of that kind of stuff. And that kind of team spirit comes into the indie movement. My management, Marvin Mack and Top Notch has been such a supporter for a long, long time. Urban Influencer Music Group was a big part of this as well. So yeah, everybody has their job to do in an independent movement, in an independent label. So, starts with the music, but from there, the music becomes a really, really minute part of the movement. You know what I mean? So we all got to do our part to keep things moving. Folks like you are a big part of what we do. You know what I mean? To be able to put this into ears that we otherwise wouldn't have. So, it's all a big cog, and we're parts in it. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between a major label when I was with Sony, having that big muscle behind you and the resources, but it's no less gratifying. In fact, I would say it's more gratifying to do it on the indie level, because you pretty much have your hand in every part of the process. And I kind of like that, being a Virgo. I don't know if it's a Virgo thing, you know what I mean? I'm not really a controller, but it's just being able to touch and see and kind of, check off the box and say, yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always somebody that's loves to bounce things off of people that I trust. And that's a big part of this as well, the quality control. And I love that you said about the album that it came with quality and tried to uphold that quality level that I've had throughout my career. So that's a big point. That's huge for me, because I don't want to be one that's just here making records. They all sound the same, and it's all same. That's like one of my biggest fears, is making records that are samey. You know what I mean? So yeah, that goes to having people around me in which I trust their ear and their feel and their expertise for music. So I kind of call us the TKC, the tight knit crew, with my production crew and all of that. Kanita Brown and Lorenzo Johnson and Marquise Green, and like I said, Sed Solo and CK. So we're a really tight knit crew. I am looking to expand, but it feels good to be able to hop on the phone or send a text and say, check this out, what you think, does it have legs or not? But yeah, man, it's been wonderful. I just hope that they can start putting this feeling, because you don't need no major labels anymore. You just don't need it. You know what I mean? A lot of folks have that power. If you feel empowered, keep pushing, put that music out, make some quality stuff, and feel good about what you're doing, your product and you. So yeah, man, I feel good about where we are, and the album is doing well, and people are really being receptive to it. And I like that a lot of folks are responding and leaving comments saying that they all have different favorite records. You know what I mean? And that's a big part for me. That's always what I wanted to know about. That's why I started doing videos on social media and asking people to leave their top 3. And a lot of them have been really, mixed. So I love that. I love that response.
The name of the album, Back to Basics, Volume 1.
Yep.
Does that mean there's a Volume 2 on the way?
You know what? It's undisclosed. Like, I don't even know. I don't know yet. You know what I mean? It was just something that I thought felt good, because these are the first pieces of music that I had worked on after losing my pops and kind of going into a kind of hiatus. I was kind of gone for a little bit, and because of losing my man, and we was tight, you know, and losing somebody that was such a big influence on me in my profession, and just me as bringing me up as a man. These were the first pieces of music that I really started working on, and they hung with me, and listening to them over the couple of years that I had them and working on them, they were still fascinating to me listening to them as a consumer than they were when I first recorded them or made them and all of that. So throughout the, you know, over the couple of years that I was working on the album, I was just pretty much putting little adjustments on things, and I like to say putting the sprinkles on it in the toppings. But yeah, they was just as fascinating for me to listen to back then, you know, than it was when I was making them. So I would say that qualifies as timeless to me, even though the music in some parts are kind of, you know, like that new age kind of stuff, but it still wasn't too far left. You know what I mean? So I was still happy with the product. I am still happy today as when I made them. So yeah, man, I'm just happy with the whole project, and I just love that people are hearing something a little bit different, but it's still Noel.
Yes.
So that's my thing. Yeah.
Again, man, you know, you hit the nail right on the head, and I believe that, like I say, as more listeners get to hear your music, they're gonna come to appreciate and love you as well. Do you get to come back to New England much?
I haven't been back so often, but I do still try to come back because my brother's there. He's in New Bedford, and I still have a lot of family there. So whenever I go back there, it's always nice to throw down and get with the family and hang out. I am coming back pretty soon. I'm getting married later this year in Plymouth.
Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, I got to go back home and get married, man. It's going to be, I keep wanting to call it small, but my mom keeps saying it's not small no more, baby. You know, I'm like, no, it's small. It's a small way. It's real intimate. But there's going to be over 250 people there. But yeah, man, I try to get back home as often as I can to visit family and to hang out, yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm sure a lot of people can't wait to see you. I moved to Rhode Island in 2000, and I met a crew. They were called the Track Addicts.
Oh, that's my people.
They said, yo, man, I want to listen to this artist that we're working with, man. I said, okay, cool. And I said, who's that? They said, oh, and his name is Noel Gourdin. I said, okay.
Yep.
And that right then, I said, yeah, you definitely gonna make it in this music business. And that was back in 2000.
Oh yeah, that was my people. That's Tommy T.O. Oliveira and West Wind, and yeah, the whole crew, man. That was my crew. That was the studio I was talking about that I slept in and making records. Yeah, man. So we go way back, man, and we did it. We ran hard and we worked hard, and we did a lot of things that a lot of folks didn't think we could do. And that's the beautiful thing about, you know, people that are looking, that are persistent and working hard, man, and doing it, you know, working at their craft to perfect their craft. You never actually get perfection, but if we can strive for perfection, and that's what we did.
Yeah, that's the epitome of being independent and having that drive. And you hit on some of the nuggets, man, but I just like to succinctly put it, if you don't mind, for these up and coming artists, what is it going to take to be successful in this business?
I would say believe in yourself, be yourself, because everybody else is taken. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about the industry that I think has gone wrong is like that conveyor belt type of thing. Because honestly, today, a lot of the female artists to me sound the same. I can't tell one from the other when I'm just listening to them. I'm just being honest. I've always, I grew up with my pops listening to that old soul music. So tone is the thing for me, and having a tone and a characteristic to your voice and you know, charisma and all of that kind of stuff, because you can hear that come through on the track through your voice. But yeah, tone has always been number one for me, and you know, there's a lot of fellas that's out there that's doing it right now, but a lot of the females on the radio, I can't tell them apart. You know what I mean?
I do.
But yeah, but tone has always reigned supreme for me. But there's a lot of independent artists out there that's really doing it, man. Like I always say, Eric Roberson, Calvin Richardson, you know, all of these folks, man, really doing it and pushing hard. A lot of my females, Mesa has always been doing it. Hill Street Soul, you know what I mean? Cy Smith, all of these folks, man, really putting some music down, man. And I'm having fun mixing and mingling with folks on tracks and collaborating and all of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of crazy. I would just say, be yourself. Really put the time into your craft. Don't be afraid to go into a little hiatus and get yourself right, because first impressions are huge. You know what I mean? And just have fun. Have fun doing it, and let that come through in your tracks and your records, man. You got to feel it, because if you don't, your consumers will be able to tell. You know what I mean? And just be real with yourself. Have that quality control of self, and just be real. That's all.
All right. So, Noel, tell us where we can find out more about you and your music online.
Well, you could check my website out. Is www.noelgourdinmusic.com, NOELGOURDIN music.com. You can check me out on all my socials. It's at Noel Gourdin on Instagram and, well, X. I'm not really on there too much right now, and I don't think there needs to be much explanation for that. But on Facebook, The Real Noel Gourdin, with spaces in between. That's my band page, and that rings true as well for TikTok, The Real Noel Gourdin.
Cool. Personally, man, I just like to know what part of Cali are you in now? North, south, in the middle?
Well, actually, I'm in Arizona now.
Oh,
we moved from the high desert in Victorville in California. We came out here last year, right at September, the beginning of September. So we're in Buckeye. I'm in Buckeye, Arizona right now. And yeah, man, it be hot, but it's a dry hot. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like that humidity. So it only be 10% humidity out here. I was just speaking with my mom's yesterday. She's in Alabama, in Huntsville, and it was like 65% humidity. So it's crazy, man. That's one thing that I like about here is like that dry heat. It's not as much humid, but it be hot. It's hot, 115, you know what I mean, 110. Yeah. But yeah, man, I love it. But yeah, I try to stay connected with all my folks, and you know, namely my mom's in Alabama, and my brother in New England. So yeah, man, still rooting for all the home teams, though. You know that. So yes, go Patriots. We looking forward to the Patriots and coming up this season, man. I'm really excited. Yeah.
All right. What's the music scene or the entertainment scene like there?
There's some spots out here that you know, doing a lot of some live performances and stuff like that. There's some venues, but yeah, man, I've been making my rounds, and there's a lot of folks out here that when I was touring before, doing spot dates and all of that kind of stuff, that is still here and still show running and still, you know, interested in getting me on the stage out here. So it's been good, man, just adapting to here and being here, because usually I was flying in and going back out, you know what I mean? So now I'm living here, and folks are hitting me up, and it feels good to you know, have that request to hit the stage out here.
That's awesome to hear. I know your new bride is going to be in the saddle with you.
Yeah, she's from Brockton as well, man, which is crazy. Is that right? You know? Yeah. So it kind of worked out, man. We're kind of like-minded, and you know, us folks from the Northeast, we kind of don't take no shorts. So yeah, man. But it's been going well, man. I'm happy, and you know, I'm doing some of the best writing that I've done in my whole career. So I feel good about it, man. But you know, I'm happy about what's on the horizon as well. We got some new stuff coming. I got a trail ride record coming, man. It's gonna be dropping pretty soon. So yeah, man, I'm starting to dip myself into the Southern Soul genre as well. So yeah, man,
that's awesome, man.
Got some things coming
out like that. I could actually see you in some movies too.
Crazy. Bro. I got something coming up at the beginning of September in Atlanta. Yeah, so a movie role. So yeah, it's looking real good.
Oh man, we got to reconnect and talk and get that on and popping.
Absolutely.
All right, my brother. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my new friend. Actually, he's an old friend, because we go back, even though I didn't know him back then. Mm-hmm. I know him now, live and in person. Noel Gourdin. Definitely check out that new album, Back to Basics, Volume 1. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Noel, thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you again on another edition of Behind Their Music. Till then, have a good day.
Hey, yo, this is Noel Gourdin here, and whenever I'm in New England, I'm listening to the City Beat. Check out my new record. Might let you hit it.
Come on. She bought a 3-pack of Red Bull and copped a room. Told me meet her at the W. Told the valet to look out cause I'm on my way. I'll be in the old school Chevrolet. Ooh, the drop top dice hanging in the rear view. Blue antique plates on the old school. For my conversation. Told me hurry baby, don't keep me waiting. If you play your cards right, keep your game tight, you might get lucky tonight. You see, I normally don't do this, baby, but I just might let you.
Baby, take it easy. Your body calling, but I wanna keep screaming. Keep on that little umbrella, baby, hit the lights. Put that love in the middle, girl, I can't miss tonight. I may not be Mr. Right, but right now, baby, I just wanna give a shot for you.
Cards right, keep your game tight. You might get lucky tonight. Ooh, I know I normally don't do this, baby, but I just might let you. To me